Hey guys! Did everyone just see me lick my lips like a lizard? Welcome to today's Big Brother 21 live updates and spoilers. Thank you for the pillow.
You're welcome.
Our house guests of the day, we have Linda Williams, Lisa Herbert, and Logan Murphy. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you.
Sorry.
It's okay. And we really, really appreciate it. So thank you again so much. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, like the L Squad, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so when we left off yesterday, we were waiting and waiting and waiting for campaign day to kick off. Cliff and Jess, you gonna do something or what? So, to be fair, Cliff had been hearing from everybody, well not everybody, but at least Jackson, Holly, and Nicole, the votes that he needs to stay, that he's good. He's been hearing that all week, so he was just like, whatever. And Jess did start campaigning a day early, which is like unheard of this season. So I guess they get a little bit of a pass this week. They can start a little bit later. So Cliff and Nicole were having a game chat in the Target bedroom. And Nicole's like, I'm going to be honest with you. I am very scared moving forward. But you are my guy. That's the way it's always been. So Nicole lets him know. Jess did campaign to me, and it was kind of enticing. You know, she made some really valid points. I had to think about it. And Christy also told Nicole that it all comes down to her decision this week. So that's a lot of pressure on Nicole. So Cliff is like, well, I've always told you to vote whichever way you feel is best for your game. I'd be a hypocrite if I said something different now. But I do hope that keeping me is best for your game. So Nicole says, yeah, I think it is, and I hope it is. I feel like she's being super wishy-washy, and I feel like she should just lie to Cliff and say, like, I wanted to keep you the whole time, even if she was considering keeping Jess, because that's going to make him feel really uncomfortable. So they discuss their next move. And they're like, what do we do if it's a double eviction? Because people are starting to suspect, like, it could be a double eviction this week. Because if they don't do it now, it's going to be weird if they do it after this week. So they agree. The other 4 house guests are all huge, dangerous threats. Every single one of them. So they're hoping, like, if they don't win HOH, that the other 2 duos will target each other. But they are going to try and win this. They're not just throwing this HOH competition. So if they do win, it seems like they're leaning towards putting up Christy and Tommy. They're going to stick with their final 4 with Jackson and Holly. So they're not really sure which person they would put up, Jackson or Holly, if Tommy or Christy came down with a veto. But one thing they know for sure is that they want to stick together. Aww. So Nicole is now saying, oh, it's a no-brainer that she's going to be keeping Cliff. Duh, of course. She's not sure when she's going to tell the others, like Jess, Tommy, and Christy, that she's keeping Cliff. Because Tommy and Christy both told her, like, we're going to vote however you vote. Because they have to. I mean, if they go against that, it's not going to matter because Jackson would be the tiebreaker and then they would just be left out there, you know, on the wrong side of the vote. So they don't want to do that. But anyway, Cliff then talks to Tommy. He's doing his campaigning. I mean, Cliff knows that he's got the votes anyway with Nicole, Holly, and Jackson breaking the tie. But he still wants to go for those other votes, of course. So he's talking to Tommy. And he's like, you know what, obviously it kind of sucks for me that you used the veto on Christy because I'm up on the block. But he says, I was worried that you were super close to Jackson and Holly. And I was kind of relieved when you did use the veto because, you know, that shows me that you're not doing what Jackson and Holly want. So Cliff says, I think I have Holly and Nicole's votes. And I think that Jackson would probably break the tie for me to stay because he wants Jess out with the whole gender thing and Jess wanting to go after guys. Again, I don't know that she necessarily wants to go after only guys, but she wants to go after Jackson, that's for sure. So Tommy says, you know what, I just want to tell you, and I hope this doesn't leave the room. Christy and I are under the impression that we're working with Jackson and Holly, but it seems like you and Nicole are as well. And Cliff says, yeah, I felt the same way, but I want to let you know that Nicole and I have not really been like working with Jackson and Holly. It's more we've been under their wing. You know, they've been in power the last few weeks, so they've kept us safe, but they don't talk game with us. Stop! Oh my god, stop. So Tommy is like, okay, well, you know, whatever's going on there, he doesn't want their two duos against each other because he feels like, of course, Jackson and Holly are trying to pit the other two duos against each other, which, let's be real, they are, and let's be real, all of the duos are trying to do that. They're all trying to play the middle. So Tommy's asking Cliff, what would your plan be moving forward? And Cliff says, I know this sounds kind of sketchy, but I don't know what I would do if I won HOH. Ooh, not a good answer. So Tommy says, I would really like for us to be on the same team. And Cliff agrees. That's a lie, Cliff Hog. Come on. Cliff does not want to work with Tommy and Christy. He wants to take them out. So Cliff makes it clear that he's going to be protecting Nicole no matter what. Like, he doesn't know what he wants to do, but he is not going to be putting Nicole up on the block. And Tommy says, yeah, I get it. That's cool. It's cool. So then Cliff starts pushing what a big threat Jackson is. And he's like, if you're going to strike and try and take a shot at Jackson, this next week is probably the time to do it because he's not going to be able to play in the HOH competition. And, you know, who knows if we'll get another shot like this. So Cliff is talking it up like he wants to get rid of Jackson, and he would probably be cool with Jackson going as long as he's not the one to do it because he knows that Jackson's a huge threat. So I don't think that Cliff would target Jackson if he won HOH, but he definitely wants to make sure that Tommy and Christy will if they win. So Cliff is like, you know what, Tommy, I can tell you this. If I win HOH, you will not be my target. Yeah, because he's targeting Christy. So Tommy basically says to Cliff, okay, if I win HOH and I do take that shot at Jackson and Holly, I'm going to be vulnerable the following week. You know, I'm not going to be able to play in the next HOH competition. So he wants to know, am I going to be safe if I, you know, do the house's dirty work and take out Jackson or Holly? Will I be safe that following week? And Cliff says, yeah, if you do that, I won't target you. I'll target whichever one is left out of Jackson and Holly. Would he? I don't know. So then they're both saying that they would love to be at the end together with Nicole. They're all such big fans. It would be great. And yeah, that's that. So then after that, Cliff has a similar conversation with Christy. She is also really pushing that Jackson's got to go. Jackson and Holly are playing both sides, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's the same stuff we've been hearing all week. And Cliff is also promising Christy that he will not target her the following week if she takes a shot at Jackson and Holly. Okie dokes. Meanwhile, Nicole is talking to Jackson and Holly in the HOH room. And let's keep in mind, too, that Holly was still, like, really sick all day yesterday. So the HOH room was, like, her sick room. So people had to go up and, like, visit her for the most part. She did get some meds eventually, and then she was kind of, like, moving around a bit more, but she was freaking sick. Blech. So Nicole is telling them all about the campaigning that she has been on the receiving end of. That felt weird. She admits to them, yeah, it was pretty enticing. You know, they were offering some pretty cool stuff, but she's keeping Cliff. So Jackson is pledging his loyalty to Nicole and Cliff, and Holly's like, and me, big butthead. Guess she's not going to call him an effing a-hole again. So, anyway, Jackson says, I know that Christy is saying that Holly and I are playing both sides, or playing all sides of the house, but that is not true. Don't believe it. He says, actions speak louder than words, and then Jackson starts listing all the things that he's done to protect Nicole and Cliff, and how he didn't have to win this HOH competition, but he didn't want Tommy to target them, blah, 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 blah. And he's saying he wants to go to the Final Four with them. And Nicole's like, yeah, I want that too. So Jackson says, Christy is trying to pit all of us against each other. obviously he sees this because he's trying to do the same thing. Duh. So he's like, yeah, Christy doesn't want to be the one to put us up, so she's trying to get you and Cliff to do it. All three couples are trying to play the middle right now, and it's hilarious how they all get mad at each other when they're all trying to do the same thing. Okay, so anyway, Nicole tells Jackson and Holly, please do not worry. I'm not going to target you guys. It's going to be okay. Okay, so then Jess was like sort of campaigning to Jackson. She says, I don't know if I'm your target. Jackson does not confirm or deny. That's not a good sign. So then Jess is also saying, I'm not a deal maker. Somebody else in this house is. She's talking about Cliff. Duh. So she's pitching that people can use her as a pawn if she stays. That's kind of lame at this point in the game. I feel like you're going to have to offer up a bit more than that if you want to stay. Alright, so then Holly and Jackson chat, and they still don't think that Tommy and Christy realize that they have a final four with Cliff and Nicole. Stop! It's not even funny anymore. It's just sad. So, even though they don't think that Tommy and Christy know this, they're starting to not really feel comfortable with Holly throwing the HOH competition anymore, because before they were like, oh, you should throw the HOH competition, and then Cliff and Nicole and Tommy and Christy will go after each other, we'll just relax, it'll be great. But now they're like, I don't think that's such a good idea anymore, because they're realizing, you know what, Christy and Tommy might try and take a shot at us. Duh! So Holly says, it'd be really rotten if Nicole and Cliff went back on their word with us. Okay. I think it'd be fun. But okay. I could see why they would be upset. So then Jess campaigns to Nicole again. And I mean, it's pretty much the same stuff that she was saying the other day. She's pushing for the final four with the two of them, Christy and Tommy, saying that it'll be an even playing field. They'll all have a better chance to win than they would against Jackson, Holly, and Cliff. And Jess is saying, we've got to take out Jackson, or else he's going to win this whole thing. So Jess offers again, go up as a pawn against Jackson or Holly if one of them comes down with a veto. And Jess is still telling Nicole, you're my person, that she needs to vote for her this week. So Jess says, regardless if she stays or goes this week, she knows that she's played a very impressive game in her eyes to herself. Okay, and she doesn't care what other people think about her gameplay. I'm really happy for you, Jess, and I hope you take that mindset into the social media world after the season's over. Okay. So then Cliff was talking to Jackson and Holly in the HOH room / sick room / sex room. It's like another episode of Nicole continues to freak out her allies, because Cliff is saying, yeah, Nicole kind of worried me a little bit earlier. He's getting a little paranoid because Nicole was saying that Jess gave a really strong pitch, made some really valid points, but she did tell Cliff that she's leaning towards keeping him. So Cliff is like, I hope it's more than just leaning. I thought we were closer than that. So he says, no, by the end of their chat, Nicole was saying that she trusts the three of them. She wants to go to the final four with them. So we felt a little bit better about that. But at first he was just like, what's going on here? So then they were all talking about how they know Tommy and Christy are putting a lot of pressure on Nicole. And she has such a big heart, and they're pulling at her heartstrings, and you know, it's a tough week for Nicole. So Jackson is saying, like we heard before, that Tommy and Christy are trying to play the middle, pit them against each other. You're all doing it! Okay, so they also let Cliff know, yo, just so you're aware, Tommy and Christy are pushing hard to get rid of you and keep Jess. And he's like, I get it, I know. Tommy and Christy, it would make a lot of sense for them to go to the final four with Jess and Nicole. That'd be great for them. Duh. So Jackson's like, you know what? Why don't we beat them at their own game? And he says he's cool with Cliff and Nicole telling Christy and Tommy that they're going to target Jackson and Holly if they win HOH, you know, make it seem like they're going to take a shot at Jackson and Holly. So then maybe, just maybe, Tommy and Christy will feel safe and throw the HOH competition, and then they can get rid of them. So he's like, I don't care what you say to them as long as you don't actually put me up. You know, let's beat them at their own game. You're playing the same game already anyway. Oh my god. So then Jackson, Holly, Cliff, and Nicole did end up all talking together, the four of them. They're comparing notes on everything that Christy's promised to them, and they think it's crazy that Christy's been swearing on her sister's life and on the Bible. She's telling Jackson and Holly that she's not going to go after them. She's telling she's telling Cliff and Nicole that she is going to go after Jackson and Holly, and they're just like, I can't believe that she's doing this. It's so messed up. So, again, they plan on making Christy and Tommy feel as comfy as possible so that they might throw the competition. I don't see that happening. It's a little late in the game for throwing comps, I think, you know? So then Jess campaigns to Holly in the boat room, and she's like, very, like, emotional. And she's telling Holly, you're so strong. I admire you so much. And after that, it's like the same stuff that she's been campaigning to everybody else. Use me as a pawn to break up one of the other duos. Cliff makes deals. I don't. And she's got a new one. She's got a new one in the mix. Jess is saying it's going to be better for Jackson's resume to take out Cliff. If I go, that means that Jackson has evicted me and Sis. You know, she's got a point there. That is pretty lame. Can you imagine that being your argument if you make the final two? Blech. So, Jess, at this point, is not getting really solid answers from people that she's trying to get their votes, and they're not giving her an answer one way or the other. That's not a good sign. Okay, so some quick things. Tommy and Nicole were playing with their dolls last night that they made a few weeks ago, Amber and Azul. They have the British accents. And Christy made her own doll to be their kid, and she named it Ariel. So they're like playing with their dolls, whatever. And then at one point, Christy puts her doll down on the counter, and Big Brother plays this message. Ariel, no napping. And everyone starts freaking out. They're like, oh my god, this is so exciting. I can't believe they made this message for us. And Christy is crying over the interaction. Oh my god. I could see, though, how that would be an emotional thing, because like they're locked away for months and they have somebody new that they're interacting with, even if it is a recorded voice. So then they were like, oh my god, has there ever been like an Ariel on this show? Like, did they make that recording special for us? Like, what's going on here? How does nobody know that there hasn't been an Ariel? Are you kidding me? And Cliff was like, I've never heard that before. But everybody else is like, I don't know. Okay, so Jess campaigned to Jackson, sort of again. And he lets her know this time that in the event of a tie, he's not going to sugarcoat it. He's probably going to keep Cliff. Ugh. So then Jess brings up his lame-ass resume if she's evicted. And she's telling him, yeah, it just doesn't look great on paper if you take out me and Sis. It's kind of lame. You know, Cliff is a much bigger target than me. He could win this whole entire thing. So she's like, it kind of makes me wonder, is there something going on between you and Cliff? Like, did you guys make a deal or something? And Jackson says multiple times, I'm not working with Cliff. I didn't make a deal with Cliff. That's not what this is. Okay. Sure, Jan. So then Christy is in the HOH room with Holly and Jackson. And Jackson asks her, is something wrong? You just seem like kind of pissed off. And Christy says, oh, I'm fine. I'm just sad that Jess is going. She's not fine. She is pissed off. She has been ranting to Tommy about how she can't stand Jackson and Holly anymore. And Holly has been ranting about Christy nonstop. So, you know, it's pretty even. But anyway, Christy's playing it off like she's just upset that Jess is going. So Christy says, I'm scared of Cliff moving forward. I'm still gonna do what you want with the votes this week. I trust the plan. So she is also saying, I just have to wonder if you've got something going on with Cliff. And Jackson says, for the record, there have been no deals made with Cliff. And Christy says, I don't know, it just worries me that Cliff seems to feel so good with you, and he's like so comfortable this week. And Jackson says, yeah, because I told him that he wasn't my target this week. And he says, yeah, Cliff is a threat to me, he's a target for me, but not this week. He's really set on getting rid of Jess. So Jackson says, Jess may not be a bigger threat to the rest of the house, but she is to me, and I want her to go. So then Jackson's asking Christy, should we be worried if you win HOH? Like, are Holly and I going to go up on the block? Christy says, no, I don't want you to feel that way. What? Ah! So that's a load of bullshit. But Christy admits, like, yes, I am off today emotionally, but it's not because of you guys. Cue Christy tears. So then after that, Jackson and Holly talk alone, and Holly's like, I don't trust Christy. She's so full of shit, blah, 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 put on makeup. And then Jackson is saying, I wanted to have that conversation with Christy so that America, all of America, could hear Christy say that she would not nominate us. So that if she goes back on that, let the pitchforks come out. Why? Are we having, like, a celebratory feast for giants and those are our forks? Because I would freaking love it if Christy put up Jackson and Holly. And why shouldn't she? This is a game, and you can bounce checks in Big Brother, and Christy is basically doing what Jackson and Holly are doing, so I don't see the problem here. But anyway, Christy goes and tells Cliff about the conversation with Jackson and Holly, and she tells him, hey, if you hear that I'm targeting you, that's just some BS that I'm saying to Jackson and Holly to make them feel better. I'm trying to make them feel comfortable, so maybe Holly will throw the HOH. But she swears she's targeting Jackson and then Holly. So Cliff plays along. He's like, yeah, Jackson's got to go, blah, blah, blah. He's so strong. So then after that conversation, Cliff immediately reports back to Jackson and Holly. And he's like, oh my God, Christy was saying this, and she's swearing that she's going to target you guys, blah, blah, blah. So Cliff and Nicole, well, at least Cliff, is very clearly still wanting to work with Jackson and Holly. And Nicole, she says that she is, but she still seems a little conflicted. So today, it's double eviction day, baby. And again, they're suspecting that it could be because they're like, if this is going to happen, it's pretty much got to happen now. Isn't it funny, too, that Tommy keeps saying that, like, a double eviction would be disrespectful to the players? Oh my God, it's part of the game. Anyway, Jess should be leaving first tonight unless something insane happens. She pretty much knows that she's going. It's probably going to be unanimous because Christy and Tommy don't want to be on the wrong side of the vote. So now, you know what? At this point, I feel like Christy and Tommy should just vote for her to stay and make Jackson break that tie so that Jess will not want to vote for him in the end. Right? I think I would probably do that. Then again, I'd probably be a loser in the house. You know? I talk a big game here. Anyway, who else do you guys think is going to be going? Who's going to be the second evictee? It seems like each duo is trying to play the middle right now, but I don't think anybody is going to throw this HOH competition unless it's to their own duo partner. You know, like maybe Tommy would throw it to Christy. I could totally see that happening. Or Cliff would throw it to Nicole. That could definitely happen. But here's the breakdown. If Holly, Cliff, or Nicole win this HOH, I believe they would put up Tommy and Christy, with Christy being the target. If Tommy or Christy win HOH, one would assume they're going to put up Jackson and Holly, and Jackson would be the target. So if you look at it, Nicole and Cliff are the safest duo in the house right now. They're the one that's actually in the middle, but it's not like they're going to be throwing this and letting the two sides take each other out. At this point, they are loyal to Jackson and Holly. But you know what? Anything could happen with the power of veto. Even though the two biggest targets at this point seem to be Jackson and Christy, what if one of them wins the veto, you know? Anything could happen. anything could happen on double eviction night, so it should be exciting. So then everybody's getting ready for the show today, and everyone's also checking in with Nicole because it's all coming down to her this week. So Nicole's telling Christy what she wants to hear. Yeah, Jackson's got to go, got to do it this week. She's telling Christy, if you want to make that move, I will support it. And Jackson is asking Nicole, are you gonna gun for this HOH competition? And Nicole's like, yeah. He had a similar conversation with Cliff. He's getting a little nervous. I think he's a little nervous that Cliff and Nicole might try and throw it and let Christy and Tommy take the shot. But they're both telling him, no, we're going for this competition. We're gonna make it happen. So then Nicole was talking to the cameras, and everyone is telling her, she says that everyone's telling her that she's safe, which is great. But what is she gonna do if she wins HOH? She says she wants to win it because she doesn't trust these people not to like flip and get rid of her or Cliff. But she really just wishes that she could nominate Jackson, Holly, Tommy, and Christy because she is over it right now. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? 4 nominees. But anyway, it seems like she would still be loyal to Jackson and Holly, but can you imagine the agony of a Nicole HOH? As much as I love Nicole as a person, I just feel like she would be so hard to watch as an HOH because she would go back and forth and back and forth. Oh my goodness. But if she wins during a double eviction, she's going to have a meltdown because she's not going to have a lot of time to go back and forth. But anyway, let me know who you guys are rooting for in the comments. I'm really looking forward to tonight's double eviction because I feel like no matter what, a big player will be going. So that's pretty exciting. So let me know what you guys think. And until next time, if I can find the, okay. Until next time, much love.